black family, okay, we're talking about Africans born in America. There are three functions of black family. Okay, one is basic survival. In other words, even particularly when you look at an infant is totally dependent on its mother and family for its survival, for food, safety, and protection. And that's same for the other members as well, the children. Children are help the children survive. The parents are there to protect that child until it becomes of age. Okay, so we're talking basic survival, but also socio-emotional development. Socio-emotional development. Okay, what we're talking about there, feeling loved or feeling wanted. Okay, versus feeling unwanted. Okay, basically you see we're talking about dysfunctional family, which you're talking about. You hear about that a lot of times in abnormal psychology. Is it a healthy family or a dysfunctional family? Okay, and we'll look at that, what makes families functional or dysfunctional later on. So like I said, I'd rather look at why the children who chose a black doll, see what their parents were doing versus the black children who chose a white doll, and overanalyzing that factor versus let's look at what some parents are doing right. The socio-emotional development, to feel accepted, to feel loved, okay? And also a third factor is a buffer from the dominant society. A buffer from the dominant society. In other words, black children who grow up in a culture that's anti-black. I'm black, and or you're black, and you're growing up in a culture that hates you, that's against you, that's put in place and has rules and laws and guidelines to put in place to keep you down. So you're a black child and you're growing up in an environment, in a culture, whether it's on television, whether it's in textbooks, that's anti-you, okay? And so the black family has to be able to, some way to keep those kids. Well, it's not you. It's not you. That's why it's important to talk about racism to your kids. When they're just treating you wrong, well, it's not you. You're beautiful. Okay, something wrong with them. Okay, because you have a great history. You're a wonderful person. Okay, versus a lot of times you don't talk about the kids about racism. When people discriminate against them, they'll internalize that something must be wrong with me. I must be a bad person. Where that's where the black family comes in. No, you're not a bad person. That person is a racist. Okay, and so to protect, I'm gonna nurture and protect the child. Okay, let's go back there. The main mission of the family, to a certain extent, is to ensure the survival of that child. That psychological survival, physical survival as well. Okay, ensure that child grows up to be a productive citizen. Okay, now think about that. Now you have a dominant society that promotes a certain set of images of your people. And the parents know this. So how do the parents deal with this? Okay, and this is what Kenneth Clark's doll study was about, showing that a lot of black children, or probably the majority of the black children he worked with, chose the white doll over the black doll. That is a symptom of the internalized hatred of the society put on that child. That's why I say, let's look at why the black children who chose a black doll, or said neither one of them are bad or good, or could be good or bad. Let's look at the research on what those parents are doing right. Okay, but that's one of the symptoms. So you got the culture, you have two types of cultures. You have individualistic and you have collectivist. Individualistic, you're individual in the world of individuals. You go out there and make your mark in the world and do your thing. Collectivists identify themselves as a group or a type of people. When you look at, for instance, you make a decision based upon what's better for your group or what's better for your family. For instance, I got a lot of particularly Vietnamese students come to my class and saying, I want to be a pharmacist. Now I'm asking, well, why do you want to be a pharmacist? I said, because that's what my family wants me to do. Okay, I see Ethiopians come in the class saying, I want to be a doctor or a pharmacist. Same thing, because my family says I should do this. Okay, that's collectivist. In other words, you identify with your family and your needs, the group's needs come first. Okay, individualistic, it's all about me. Okay, most African Americans, partly for survival, use, and even to a certain extension from West African society, tend to use the extended family system. Okay, versus individualistic cultures use the nuclear family system, father, child, father, mother, 2.5 children, versus extended family of the cousins and uncles and aunts and grandparents all kind of mixing and interacting with each other on a regular basis. And there are advantages and disadvantages of both. I mean, in other words, and let's talk about in terms of when things are going good, financially, economically, socially, the things are going well. The nuclear family is ideal. And this is kind of what I think Moynihan and his followers were talking about. In other words, you're middle class, and now you go out there and get your home in the suburbs and throw your money in the bank and live happily ever after. Okay, you're not responsible for any of your cousins, your low class cousins or uncles, or you're not responsible. They're on their own. Okay, on the other hand, when you're an extended family system, somebody always needs something. Well, grandma, she needs the money to go visit so-and-so, or so-and-so's lights got turned out, or your cousin, so-and-so's needs a water bill or needs a help on their mortgage, and maybe somebody else needs to have their kids stay. So it's really hard to get ahead financially in extended families because somebody always needs something. Whereas you don't really have to worry about those low-class cousins or in-laws if you're in a nuclear family system. The problem is when things go bad. When things go bad, if you're an extended family system, you lose your home, or you go stay with your brother-in-law for a while, or stay with grandma for a while. Okay, whereas you're in a nuclear family system, you're out there alone. Talking about suicide, alienation. One of the things they don't tell you is African American women have the lowest suicide rate of any other groups of people. They also have the lowest substance abuse rate than any other group of people. I mean, sisters, black women drink less alcohol. They don't abuse prescription drugs as much. They don't smoke as much cigarettes. The only thing black women do is smoke weed, much more than anybody else. Same with African American males in terms of all your cocaine addiction, alcohol addiction, prescription drugs. Black males have a lower abuse rate than white males or other white males in particular. So think about that. Suicide rate. White male suicide rate is twice black male suicide rate. And if you really think about it, a lot of the black suicides blacks have is usually those who are in all white communities are isolated. Isolation could possibly be the factor. Okay. But anyway, extended family system. And with an extended family system, you have informal adoptions. That even started on the plantation. Okay, a woman will have her kids sold to slavery, but another child was born, came on the plantation, separate from their parents. So I'll adopt this kid as mine, and maybe when that plantation where that mother got, they adopt her. For instance, and also we have informal adoptions in terms of I have aunts I grew up with, and not really related to them. I call her Aunt Mary, even though we're not related. And I can walk in her house, open her refrigerator, get food out. Hi, Aunt Mary. Even though not related. So you see a lot of informal adoptions in the black community. That's my cousin. A lot of times you see, hey cousin, not really my cousin, but I'm telling everybody my cousin. We look out for each other. Okay, so you also see that. Okay, so that's the black family. Black family, like I said before, it's for survival. Family in general is for survival on all different levels. And then you got socio-emotional support. Okay, and also that buffer. In other words, all these negative mess come in. It helps to have some older people or other people who are around you who love you to let you know that's not you. Okay, and let you know how to navigate your way through this racist and white supremacist society.